Even if you are the most dedicated teacher, your life can't be 100% all about education all the time. You need to be able to spend time with your friends and family, and according to all the happiness experts I've ever heard, you need a third place too. This is a place where you feel welcome, where you can do something enjoyable, and where you can really be yourself. My third places include participating in recreational team sports, enjoying live music at my favorite local spot, and seeing as many parts of the world as possible. My friend Amy Franks has turned her third place into a podcast. A Splash of Color and Equine podcast is a Michigan-based podcast that features horse show topics, trainers' perspectives, and educational opportunities for anyone who is passionate about horses and horse showing. If horses are your third place, if you're currently dabbling in the horse show community, or if you're even just a little bit curious about getting involved with horses, A Splash of Color is the podcast for you. No matter where you are in your equine journey, Amy has a way of making this world accessible to everyone, even to a novice like me. She leverages her years of experience in the horse show world and the knowledge of her guests to give you a glimpse behind the scenes and to see what it takes to get started or to get more involved. Her positivity and inclusiveness will leave you feeling like anyone, including you, can and probably should become part of this vibrant community. You can hear A Splash of Color and Equine podcast on Spotify, and make sure to follow the show on Facebook for even more updates on the horse show community. And now, on with the show. This is Lessons We Forgot, and this episode is called Juggling. I'm sure you all know what juggling is. Just reading the word probably brings to mind images of someone tossing and catching objects continuously. Maybe you're thinking about a circus clown from your youth, or maybe you're imagining a death-defying show with someone juggling knives or even chainsaws. Modern jugglers can dazzle us with their skills. The record for most objects juggled is 14, which seems almost impossible. Juggling is actually a really old pursuit. There's evidence of juggling from the ancient Romans, Greeks, and the Chinese. The oldest depiction of juggling is in an Egyptian tomb that was sealed around 4,000 years ago. Today, some form of juggling is present in native communities on all the continents humans inhabit, and that seems to have been the case for quite some time. However, while we've all probably seen it done right before our own eyes a time or two, not many of us can replicate the feat beyond just keeping a few objects in the air for a very limited amount of time. But like anything else, juggling is a skill that, with some dedicated practice, almost anyone can learn to do. It's all about learning the basic skills first, and then understanding the patterns that emerge depending on the number of objects you have in the air. And like so many other things in life, to get really good at it, like being able to juggle larger and larger numbers of objects, you need to be just as quick with your mind as you are with your hands. Especially this time of year, you might feel like you have a million things going on all at once. We can easily imagine ourselves metaphorically tossing all of our obligations and commitments into the air all at the same time, trying to keep them aloft together without dropping a single one. At your worst, or when you're most overwhelmed, you might even imagine them all falling, crashing down all around you. Yes, we are constantly juggling different parts of our lives. Work and home life for sure, but what about paying the bills, yard work, and commitments to your extended family? Then there are appointments, grocery shopping, and maybe even trying to hang out with your own friends from time to time. Start tossing those up too. Got kids at home that can't drive? Now we're talking about chauffeuring them wherever they need to go. And it seems like just when we've got the pattern in our own juggling acts figured out, someone throws us one more thing to keep up in the air. I guess juggling 14 objects at once doesn't really seem all that impressive anymore. Professional jugglers usually stick to throwing one type of object at a time. Whether it's beanbags, pins, or hoops, each item tossed is exactly the same as the others. It makes it really easy to figure out what is going to happen when they're thrown through the air, because they all weigh the same, they fly the same way, and they'll drop at the same speed. The things we're juggling in our lives are nothing like that. Some of the things we're trying to keep in the air are delicate and maybe even precious to us. If one of those things slips from our grasp and breaks, well, the result will be devastating. Other things in our lives are more like rubber. They fall down again and again, and not only won't break, they'll bounce right back up again to be caught or ready to be thrown again whenever we're ready to do it. This is the difficult part about juggling the things we have in our lives. What things do you have in your life that are made of glass, that can break if you don't give them the proper attention they deserve? When things get really chaotic, what do you need to focus on? At the same time, you probably have plenty of things that don't demand your immediate attention. And while they still might be very important to you, they just don't need you to focus on them all the time. Maybe because they are currently at the top of their arc and you have some time to get underneath them, or because they can drop a few times without any ill effects. Some people assume that family and work are glass and everything else is rubber, but that oversimplifies it too much. In all areas of our lives, no matter how important they are to you, there might be things that can wait. Sometimes the thing made out of glass is not the object being thrown, it's the juggler. If you fall and break, so does everything else around you. Only you know which things in your life will shatter on impact, and which ones will spring back up again. A skilled juggler doesn't watch every object flying through the air. They look for patterns. They make sure their hands are in the right place at the right time instead of reacting to whatever object is falling nearest to them at any moment. It's easy for us to focus on whatever just popped up in our lives and to think that it is the most important thing for us right now. But we know that's not true. You have a lot of things up in the air right now. Instead of focusing on the thing falling closest to you, decide what things in your life are made of glass and need to be protected. Decide which things are made of rubber and can be dealt with some other time. Focus on the things that matter most to you. Make sure that those things are up in the air or safely in your hands. The rest will bounce back up to you when you're ready to deal with them. Thank you for listening to this episode of Lessons We Forgot. I'm the host, Chris Winkle. You can contact me at lessonsweforgot@gmail.com, and please do. I'd love to hear what you think about the show and any suggestions you might have. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. That is the best way to help grow the podcast. If you want to hear more Lessons We Forgot, we post new episodes on Sunday nights. And when you like, rate, and subscribe to the show or leave a comment, that also helps the show reach new listeners. If you really hate ads like me, I do have a Patreon site, patreon.com/lessonsweforgot. For only $1 a month, you can get the show without ads. I'm offering a free trial right now, so go check it out and see if it's something you'd be interested in. Thanks again for your support.